It's been a hot minute since I've done long form content, so welcome back me. I wanted to dive into something that I wrote a blog on, I don't know, about 6 weeks ago, I would say. And it's all about the reality of getting hired at Penguin Random House. This is so interesting because research like this doesn't really exist. I couldn't really find it. So for those of you who don't know, Penguin Random House is the #1 book publisher in the world. HarperCollins, Simon & Schuster, Hachette, and Macmillan. Collectively, they are known as the Big Five, and the Big Five are all top book publishers in the United States, with Penguin Random House being the #1. So like I said, information like this doesn't really exist just out in the open. So what I did was I went to a team page on the Penguin Random House website. So all of the stats and figures that I'm going to be giving are only representative of those people that I found on the specific team page. Also, that team page is out of date because there's some people who don't work there anymore. But anyway, with that introduction, let's just do this. So I'm mostly going to be looking at editors, like senior editors, editorial assistants, any kind of editorship is what I'm mostly going to be highlighting. And I'm going to be taking a look at their credentials, demographics, experience, and background, comparing all of that, the reality, to what is on the job applications themselves. On the job application that I came across to be an editor/senior editor, it says you need 4 years of experience. That's not true. You need more. So this particular job requirement for an editor/senior editor said that it's requiring a minimum of 4 years experience, specifically, quote, in editorial acquisitions for a general trade publisher. So based on the team page that I was looking at on Penguin Random House, on average, executive editors had 19 years of experience and senior editors had 13 years of experience. I'm not even kidding you. I put a spreadsheet together of every single editor on this particular team page, and I went through all of their bios and collected the numbers, and it came out to be 19 years of experience and 13 years of experience. It's crazy. Many of them also attended nationally recognized universities like Duke, Brown, Northwestern, Yale, Princeton, University of Chicago, UPenn, Georgetown. Assuming my math is correct, approximately 75% of the top editors graduated from a top 30 school in the United States. And what was really interesting, okay, this was extremely interesting for me. There were also 2 people in particular that I found who described the reason they got the job in the first place. So let's dive into that. One executive editor said that his older brother, a lawyer, was on jury duty with a Grand Central publisher, Jamie Rabb, apologies if I mispronounce that. His brother, whom the younger sibling calls a charmer, got him an interview at what was then Warner Books. A few weeks later, he started as Rabb's editorial assistant. A second executive editor applied for an editorial position at 27 years old through a friend. She said, "To this day, I think I was hired because I'd put Scholastic on my resume, not thinking to distinguish it from the Scholastic Children's Magazine division where I wrote science articles for 4th graders. Small birds eat insects. Peregrine falcons eat small birds." Very basic sentences, sentence structure. It's not like magical writing, as I guess what she's getting at. Another important criteria that was listed on the application page for an editor/senior editor is that they must have established contacts and strong interpersonal skills. Now, and I'm looking at my notes here, when they say established contacts, I find this extremely interesting because one of the executive editorial directors at Penguin, in fact, worked with Dave Evershoff before he onboarded as an executive editor. And if you don't know who he is, I'm going to explain that really quick. He wrote the nationally best-selling book, The Danish Girl, in I think the year 2000, that was eventually adapted into an Oscar-winning film starring Eddie Redmayne. And then he onboarded as an executive editor. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's like you have to go to the moon and back just to get that job. That's crazy. And here's another example. One editorial assistant assists an executive editor who published Tara Westover's book, Educated, which was a #1 New York Times bestseller. And that book won 3 awards. And I think it was published back in like 2019. It's an amazing book, by the way. I absolutely love that book. It's easily one of my top 3 favorites. And what's interesting about all this, given all of that exclusivity and elitism and all of the magical connections that you get by working as an editor and senior editor and all that jazz, I want you to guess how much they make per year. between $70,000 and $80,000. I don't know about you, but if I'm working with celebrities, seems a little bit low to me. And what's crazy, and I'm going to explain to you why I think that's a little bit crazy, is because advances for these bigwigs, right, celebrities, influencers, well-known figures, they can easily get a six-figure advance, and their editors are only getting $70,000 to $80,000. Something about that just kind of rubs me the wrong way personally. Leave a comment below if you have a thought on that, or if there's anything that you want to add to the conversation about that particular piece. Let me gather myself, that was a lot. Let's talk about editorial assistants now. Yeah, let's talk about them. I'm dizzy. I'm not even kidding. I'm feeling a little bit dizzy. I think I pulled a muscle or something. One of the recommendations that they have on their application page, it's more of a recommendation than a prerequisite, is that they want you to have prior office experience, preferably in publishing. Oh, and you should also have publishing experience too. And I need to add that this was described as an entry-level position. I don't know about that. So I went through the people who were in those roles based on this team page at Penguin Random House. And on average, assistant editors had 6 years of experience and editorial assistants had 6.5 years of experience. It's an entry position. It's an entry position. That's an entry position. Now keep in mind that these positions are also geared towards young adults. Majority of the assistant editors and editorial assistant, they're two separate things. I thought they were the same, but apparently they're not. A lot of them were young adults, which I find crazy. I mean, these people are only, 25, 26, 27? They're not even 30, and they have 6.5 years of experience. It is so hard to break into publishing if you don't have a connection. This is wild. But, when you're working with Penguin Random House, I can understand how, they want the best of the best, an entry position. It's like when you go to a restaurant and it's like their small is a medium and their medium is a large. I'm wondering if that's kind of like what this is. It's an entry-level position for Penguin Random House. And the other thing that's interesting about the job application that I saw for assistant editors and stuff is that they don't say that you need a college degree, but every single one of them does. And they're all from top colleges as well. All 3 of the editorial assistants listed went to a top 20 school. One assistant editor interned at Marie Claire, another was a political intern at the HuffPost, formerly the Huffington Post, and another had 5 internships and 3 assistantships in total before even onboarding at Penguin Random House. And with all of that being said, you can expect a beginner blanket salary of $45,000. And keep in mind, all of these positions take place in New York City, which is one of the most expensive cities in the world. It's hold on, what is it in relation to Dubai? I'm going to look that up. I don't even know. New York City world ranking most expensive. I don't know how to ask what I'm asking. As of December 1st, 2022, according to this article, New York City is the most expensive city in the world. Another article from December 7, 2022 says New York City takes the #1 spot as the most expensive city in the world. New York and Singapore share the top spot of the most expensive city in the world. New York is tied for the first place as most expensive city in the world to live in. So there you have it. New York City is the world's most expensive city to live in, and their salary is $45,000 and then $70,000 to $80,000. They do get good benefits. That was something I went on places like Glassdoor and Indeed and some of those other places to get more of an insider's perspective of what the culture was like, what the benefits were like, what people thought about it, prior employees. And a lot of them seem to agree that the benefits are actually pretty good. To summarize, here are the pros and cons of working at Penguin Random House. According to multiple Glassdoor reviews. The pros of working at Penguin Random House is that you get great benefits, free books, which I think is just a benefit in and of itself personally, great culture, and a sense of belonging. So that's really good. That's nice to hear. The cons of working at, and this isn't the source of truth. I've never worked at Penguin Random House. I really don't know. This is just the most popular responses to what is the best and worst thing about working at Penguin Random House. Cons of working there: low salary / pay, lack of diversity, which there's also been a lot of discussions about this too, poor management, I really can't say, long hours. This is typically known to be true when you're talking about publishing. And lastly, time and location flexibility is also listed as a con. I really don't know. So I think I'm gonna stop it there. I don't want this video to get too long, but that is the reality of working at Penguin Random House as an editor. I hope you found it interesting. I certainly found it interesting. I did probably 2 or 3 days worth of research. This doesn't really seem to be something that is freely available on the internet, so I was like, you know what, I really, just to know it, I think would be very interesting. I'm always kind of, poking into like, what is it really like? What is it really like? But it seems like, like any other job, there's good moments, there's bad moments. It's just a matter of what you want that balance to be. If you're someone who's looking at working at Penguin Random House, don't let me or this video be like, again, the source of truth for you. I'm literally just pulling information and running statistics on what is already available on the internet. I'm just doing my own homework around it. I can certainly have my own opinion about stuff, but please be sure to do your own research as well. If you know someone who knows someone, or if you're able to like get into like a networking group or, whatever, that's probably the biggest recommendation that I can offer and that I know others would offer is that before you take a job anywhere, talk to someone who's worked there previously. So anyway, I hope you found this interesting. If you did, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and be a part of the community. Also, if you really like books, we should be friends. Stay cool, be on the lookout for the next video, and go follow me on Instagram. It's a really cool place over there. Bye!